All right, what's going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. Today we've got my Redcat Vertex 6 out here, and we're bringing it out to test out my new product, which is the WDW Dig Lockout for the Redcat Vertex 6 transmission. So what this guy allows you to do is lock the rear drive shaft, which will give you front wheel drive only, which in turn locks your rear tires and allows this thing to have a dig unit in it. This truck comes factory with a shiftable underdrive mechanism. So in the transmission, there were two sets of gears. One of them gave you a gear reduction to the rear, and one of them was a 1-to-1, so you had no underdrive slash overdrive. It's the same thing, essentially. But I ended up making this piece, which eliminates the 1-to-1 gears. So you retain the 30% underdrive, so you maintain the higher performance aspect of it. And then you can add this guy in here, and the shifting mechanism interlocks right here with the machined piece here. So yeah, it slips into there and allows to lock the rear wheels, do some front burns, and maneuver this big truck in different ways. So we're gonna go out, have some fun with it. This thing is made of 6000 series aluminum, so it's nice and lightweight as well as durable. So this isn't like some plastic part that you would put in there that the gears will rip apart. I happen to know that because I prototyped this in a 3D printed piece, and it was just about broken by the time I pulled it out after one run. So let's go get this thing on the rocks, have some fun with it, and see how she does out here on the rocks. One of the best parts about this is this controller comes with the channel 3 right here, pre-programmed to shift the truck. So what we're gonna do is turn on our transmitter, kick on the truck. Now my part allows you to just directly drop into this transmission, and the shifting mechanism works perfectly right from the factory. So there we go. It's already done a dig and whatnot. I have not adjusted endpoints. I have not changed anything on the radio or transmitter. It's just direct bolt in, ready to rip, go have some fun. Man, these trucks are just kind of funny to drive because I drive tent scale through here all the time, and I would look at this at tent scale and probably be like, it's probably a little too big for that thing. But these trucks are just such monsters that it can just drive right up this thing. Now, the biggest compliment I've paid to this truck is describing it to people as a big VRD, and I really like my Vanquish VRD trucks. And this thing essentially drives like a 6-scale Vanquish VRD. So I'm a big fan of them and highly recommend them if you're in the market. Now, I did try and put some aftermarket tires on this guy on the factory wheels, and unfortunately I was unsuccessful in getting those to mount up. I was trying to put some J Concepts tires on these that are originally made for the SCX6. But yeah, these wheels did not allow me to use the J Concept tires without modification. So the bead was too thick on those and the wheels wouldn't clamp down on them. There was just no way it was gonna happen. You know, I'm standing here on this pile of rocks, and I believe this year they hosted a We Rock event in this area. And this used to be like kind of a super delicate rock area where like lots of cool shelves and ledges and stuff through here. But they've driven so many buggies over this now that it's actually really tore it up. It's kind of a bummer, honestly. Like they tore this shit up pretty bad. So that's a bit of a letdown. It seems like an odd area to choose for a We Rock event. Other than, yeah, nobody had really driven these obstacles before, but I don't know. It's strange to feel this way because I enjoy the fact that it's open OHV here in Sand Hollow, but I also don't want my RC trails destroyed. Like the truck falling off that ledge getting destroyed too. All right, but let's try and find some obstacles where we legitimately could use dig. So I haven't quite got myself in a situation where I felt it was necessary yet. See her clawing for traction through those loose rocks. Throwing dirt at myself there. Oh, pull, come on. All right. Now we made our way through. A lot of loose dirt and rocks here, not a lot of traction on this hillside. All right, let's see if we can cruise up through this little pinch. Just the right width to get entered into there. Trying to manipulate the rear end by turning into that right wall. Yep, get that rear end to kind of pop up through there. Got to keep that bite on that front right. This truck has tons of articulation. You got to be able to fight it like that. Sick, that was cool. Now we just got a side hill through a ledge on a slippery hillside with some overdrive. Try not to fall off. And we fell off. So right there, I tried to kind of blip it across that gap. I probably just should have committed a little more, and I think she would have been just fine. But this has lined us up for another cool climb here. Potentially, I think we might run out of a hook. And we're lifting our front left in the air. Settle down, truck. There it is, it settled. I do have the Redcat Vertex 6 brass weights, or I guess, I don't know if they're tungsten or what. They're the weight hangers. I'd have to check the product description on them. I think they're steel, honestly, guys. I think that's a lot more affordable than tungsten, and that's probably the route that Redcat would go. Man, it's something where like it could use a bump, but I don't know if it's stable enough to bump through this. Oh, that's pretty stable. Come on. Yeah, this is really hard in here. Just huge boulders to navigate, low traction. Okay, let's work that front end left. There we go, utilizing our dig unit. Trying to get ourselves lined up for another pull over here. We lost that left rear. Back to four wheel. On that particular dig, I did not require a reverse to get it to pull back into four-wheel drive. Oftentimes you will with the factory servo because it just doesn't have the strength to rip it back into four-wheel drive. That's just an electronics issue there from the RTR. If you were to put a stronger servo in, it would have an easier time doing it without backing up. Also, this dig unit itself is not quite as refined. The shifting mechanism is not quite as refined as some other brands like Axial or Vanquish. So it only has two positions that it can lock into. And that's not anything I can change. So the dig unit might have a little bit of a hiccup trying to get into locked position. That's due to the Redcat design of the shifting mechanism. That's not necessarily my fault. I just had to design around what was already there. Oh, it's so close. Yeah, all right, finally. Man, she is right on the edge. I could see it wanted it though. Oh, lost our front right. This is a fun climb for this truck. Some good ledges and technical crawling and just hunting for that hook. Oh. I don't like how that rear is positioned right now. I want it pointed off to the passenger side more. Come on. Yeah, she may not get this one. All right, let's work this rear end a little further over. We got straight axles, but we do have a lot of sidewall to use. Trying to wrap that front tire around the edge over here. Man, this is a good one. I like this a lot. This is challenging. These trucks are so good though. For a 6 scale, it's the right weight and size. The body is high clearance, so you can get the tires into the obstacles. The approach and departure is excellent. Come on and get some. Oop, she almost fell in a hole. All right, we'll just exit left on this guy. We gave it a good shot. I suppose I should mention that my part available at westdesertwheeler.com is priced at $29 shipped. So it is free shipping. The part's 29 bucks, shipped within the US. I don't do international shipping, I apologize. I believe there are companies in the US that will deal with that for you, that can order the parts, have it shipped to like a Bay City, and then export them for you for a small fee. So that does exist. But there we go. Now we're talking. But I mean, if you buy this truck, the price tag for it, I believe, is $799 currently. I mean, to get Dig functionality with existing parts on the truck, that's like, you literally just buy that part, it drops in and you're done. No permanent modifications required. And for 29 bucks, you get that added functionality, plus you retain the 30% underdrive. Check out where we are, by the way, big old cliff. This truck barely fits. I feel like that's good value for what you're getting for the vehicle you have. Now, people have told me I should try and do a Dig unit for the SDX6. That's a bit different because that's a 2-speed transmission, so it's changing the gear ratio through all 4 tires. This guy only had a shiftable underdrive, so the functionality there is a bit different. Another cool part on this truck is it has counter-rotating drive shafts. So that helps eliminate torque twist. Pretty cool. And we've got a big drop up ahead down over here. This is an area where I could definitely use Dig as a brake coming down a hill. So we'll just click channel 3. Let it rotate forward a little bit. There we go. It's going to drag its back end. I'm going to drop the front end off. I was trying to position this left rear tire as high as possible before committing to this drop. Okay, the rear brake's on, but only so much you can do about gravity. You can see it settling that suspension, that right rear tire getting pulled into the ground. It's working and rotating, but we may have to throttle out a bit. But that'll work. And then once we're in here, with the Dig unit, it's easier to maneuver. I think we're just gonna crawl right up this set of bushes, because this truck can do that. A little too much. There we go, there's Dig. Get that suspension to settle in and stop having that sidewall fight us on the way up. Come on. Just need to crest this top part. Yep, right rear is gonna touch the wall. That front end with the underdrive is gonna pull it down. Using our slider. Okay, right. There we go. Ah, it's not quite enough traction to. See, these are legitimate cases where you would want Dig to maneuver the vehicle. This isn't just showing it off for fun. This is how I would crawl, whether there was a camera here or if it was my part or not. And that's what I wanted to find today, is some lines where it was necessary. Now these bushes are hurting us. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this thing doing? It just kept backing up there for a second. That was crazy. That was really weird. Yeah, I about lost my truck because the radio started wigging out on me. And I'm close. It's not like, that was weird. There's nothing between me. I've seen it where radios will lose signal through solid rock. Like if I'm standing on a ledge below my truck. Don't go that way. Well, almost killed my dog. Well, good news is my truck's still running and driving. Luckily, these big tires and lots of suspension, as well as not being too overweight, Really helps pillow the fall. Look at this thing just crawl boulders and just cruising through them. It's not even like struggling. Yeah, that worked out perfect. Oh, not quite perfect. A little reverse required. And then we got our tires through. That was nice. A little dig action. See, it's beneficial to this rig, especially with maneuvering it. You can't rear steer these trucks because of the reverse cut gears and whatnot. Cam with Desert RC was looking into it, and I think he ran into some roadblocks as to why you can't do that. And one of them was you couldn't flip the diff in the front housing. And yeah, essentially the gears would rotate opposite of each other and make your tires drive in the wrong direction if you try and put a steer axle on the back of this guy. So without rear steer, Dig is a great option for making this a lot more maneuverable. And it's funny, I've had people ask me on the buggy side of things which one I prefer, Dig or rear steer. And truthfully, they do different things. You can maneuver a truck with Dig in ways that rear steer can't. The same could be said with rear steer for Dig. I do use rear steer more because you can use it essentially the whole time you're driving. This is an extremely difficult 10th scale line, and I was curious how this truck would handle it. All right, had to take a hand of God to get up that one. But this next obstacle, if I can get off my differential, and that rock is really messing with me. Now it won't. Another use of Dig, clearing obstacles. Let's see what happens when you stuff a 6 scale on this thing. Because this is an extremely difficult line for 10th scale buggies with rear steer. First time I drove this was with a Rock Pirates Kraken chassis on cut and shut Trepidors when I was just testing out Trepidors for the first time and learning just how good their sidewalls were. I've driven it multiple times since with different cars. I believe I did it with my Ty Pro Customs MJ43. Had to get a little aggressive there to get it out of Dig. Sometimes that'll happen, like I say, with the RTR servo. There's not enough torque in it to rip it back into four-wheel drive. So sometimes it might take a little maneuvering and bumping to get it to release with the factory servo. You put aftermarket in there, that's on you. Get that left rear down, come on. This truck just has so much articulation. Sydney's digging me a hole up top. I want it to, yeah. Well, I need just a little bite on that left rear. And I need to be able to navigate this front across the gap up here. Ooh, that's good. No, right back to where I was. Well, I don't think this truck's gonna maneuver through this one, unfortunately. Well, all right, guys, I think this is gonna be about the end of this video. Yeah, super excited to release the latest WDW part, which is the Dig Lockout for the Vertex 6 transmission. So, hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you have one of these and you're interested in one, westdesertwheeler.com is where you can find it. I do have plenty in stock, so Go over there, check it out. Grab yourself a sticker pack on your way out at checkout if you like. You get a larger West Desert Wheeler sticker as well as the small ones to go on your scale rigs. So I always appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I don't think I'm going any further than this unless I fall off. Well, sometimes you just know, right? This guy's just a little too big to fit on this ledge, unfortunately. But I greatly appreciate the support. It's been super fun to be able to come up with new products and share them with you guys and show them off. But also, even if you're not interested in the part, get yourself a Vertex 6 if you're interested in them. These things are sick. They work really good. Add the front weights, and that's pretty much all I need. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time. Keep the rubber side down.